Friends and family, Cowboys Nation, dearly beloved, we gather today for another Dallas Cowboys loss. 5 in a row. They lose the Battle of Texas to the Houston Texans, and things are bad in Dallas. So let's talk about it. Cowboys lose 34-10. Another spanking, another blowout, another boring performance, another lackluster play by your Dallas Cowboys. That's another home loss. That's they're winless at home. They've lost 6 straight at home dating back to the playoff game against the Green Bay Packers, and it is free falling. And I don't, I've been ranting so much during these past videos that I have not given credit to the other opponent. So shout out to the Houston Texans. Good luck with the rest of your season. You were favorites to win this game. 7-point favorites. You covered the spread. and you won decisively. And the Dallas Cowboys are 3-7. And look, there was a little bit of hope, like a glimmer of hope, that if the Cowboys won this game, then they would have still technically been in playoff contention. But this season is over. It is done with. Flush it down the toilet. 3-7. You're not going to come back from that, and you're not going to make the playoffs. Mathematically, if you're 3-6, and maybe if you go to 4-6, you're technically, mathematically, do I believe this? No, but mathematically, you are still in the race. And the Cowboys with the loss, like I said in my pregame prediction video, you're done. It's over with. It's over. Dallas Cowboys will not be making the playoffs. That's not official. They're not eliminated mathematically yet, but I'm telling you right now, it's over. Now, shout out to that first half, y'all. It was pretty close. The Dallas Cowboys gave they gave a fight. They looked, granted, the Houston Texans kind of allowed a little bit of that, and it allowed the Dallas Cowboys to be competitive in this first half. But Houston Texans ran away with it. They scored 17 in the first half. They scored 17 in the second half. And the Cowboys are just an embarrassing product of football right now. You see really bad teams in the National Football League. You see really bad teams, arguably with worse records right now, that you see that they're fighting tooth and nail, giving everything they got, and they're coming up short. And it's by a field goal, it's by a touchdown. But the Cowboys are in a unique category where they are getting manhandled. They're getting obliterated. They are getting boat raced every single game in a professional landscape where there are 32 teams owned by 32 different owners. And you're telling me you can't compete and make one of these an actual game. You look at the schedule for the Cowboys. It's blowout after blowout after blowout after blowout after blowout after blowout. And there's just no accountability in Dallas. There's no accountability from the head coach because he knows he's gone after the season, which I kind of have a hot take about that one that I'll talk about here in a little bit. And God knows you have no accountability from the front office. There's no accountability, which means there's no punishment, which means there's no discipline in Dallas. And if there's no discipline in Dallas, then you can't actually create a winning culture. And obviously the window is closed for the Cowboys in talking about the championship window. I mean, we had 3 straight seasons to do it, and we didn't. And this season was an utter failure. And in the same way where the Dallas Cowboys, we could have told you Rico Dowdle was going to be your running back number 1 back in training camp. We could have told you that Jalen Brooks doesn't deserve to be on the field and give Ryan Flournoy a chance. We could have told you all those things in the preseason, in training camp, in the offseason. But the Dallas Cowboys are so slow in making logical moves to help their football team that they wait until week 11 to make those adjustments, and they gaslight you into believing like, oh, this is the right decision. And we could have told you that as fans. In the same way, too, we could have told you that this season was going to be a train wreck. And it's just disappointing for Cowboys Nation all around. Now, look, I think they're boring to watch. I think they're awful to watch, but I've seen worse. And I've been with this team. I'm going to still be with this team. But this is disappointing. I mean, this is just utter embarrassment to get killed like this every single week. National TV, at home, a place where you were 16-1 in 17 straight games at one point. It's just embarrassing. It's just embarrassing. And the sick thing about all of this is, again, there's no accountability. Other organizations have accountability where changes will be made when you have utter embarrassment like this. And for some reason, let me be careful about my verbiage there, not we as fans, but the organization just allows it. They just allow it. They just allow it. They inhibit all of this dysfunction to keep going, and there's no changes when there should be. And there's other teams out there that are making changes, hoping to be 1% better, hoping that that could give them the edge in a game or be this better in the postseason. And you got the complacent Dallas Cowboys. They are so frustrating to watch, and they are annoying. They are so annoying. And it goes far beyond the players. I question my fandom at points of why me? Why this team? Why does it have to be this team that I love and am so passionate about? I hate this. I hate losing more than I love winning. I hate the way the sideline looks. No one's mad. No one's angry. Everyone's just okay with this. We'll get them next year. We'll reload. We'll rebuild. We'll rehire. But it's the same old freaking story every year in Dallas. And if you don't win the last game of the year, no one cares. That needs to be the mentality. And for some reason, we walk around and say, hey, 12 wins. Hey, 12 wins. You're good. You're fine. Hey, we'll get them next year. But if you don't win the last game of the season, no one cares. Things are dark in Dallas, and it's worse than evaluating player performances. It's worse than that. I mean, sure, let's talk about the players. I mean, why in the world is Cooper Rush thrown for 55 times? Why is Mike McCarthy telling us in the press conference earlier this week saying Rico Dowdle's our lead back, but you only give it to him 10 times? I mean, sure, let's talk about the players. That's the players. But on the other hand, there's just no accountability where any of this may change. And, we may end up with a top 5 draft pick. I think right now with the loss, we end up 9th overall. Past 2 weeks, we were number 11th, so we are moving up. But, I mean, if you look at the picks that we have, I don't even know if it's enough to turn over this team. Cowboys lose again. And this is 5 in a row. And I don't see the urgency. I think that's the most frustrating thing. We ended this game with the handoff. I mean, that's, it's like they're okay with losing. I don't know about you guys, but I'm throwing that thing into the end zone. I'm going for it on 4th and 20. I'm going for it. I'm throwing it. I'm playing till the whistle. I'm playing till triple zeros. And this team is just complacent. Like, they're okay and fine with losing. That's the sick culture that it is in Dallas. That it's okay losing, but because you're a Dallas Cowboy and because we're the Dallas Cowboys, we're always still going to be notable. We're always going to still be noteworthy. So it really doesn't matter that we don't win it all because we're still in conversation all the time. Like, that's the Dallas Cowboys in a nutshell. And as fans, we don't take it that way. We want to win. As fans of any sport, we want to win. We want to see our team wins. And it's this disconnect. And you know what? I think we're starting to see it. Because if you look at the game today, I mean, it was a lot of Texans fans. It sounded like a Houston Texans home game. And you look at the seats, there were a lot of empty spaces for a primetime game between the Dallas Cowboys and the Houston Texans. And I wanted to get to this point because, it's late and I'm tired. I got really tired of watching this team. I talked about how complacent these guys are. And in backing that, I do believe, this is my hot take, I fear that Mike McCarthy might stay. I fear that Jerry Jones is going to look at this and say, look, injuries, we didn't do a good enough job getting you the right guys. But you have proven enough to us to win games when given the right players under the right circumstances. So we're going to keep you. That's what I fear most. And I don't think, because they're not going to get Ben Johnson. No way. It's either Mike McCarthy, Kellen Moore, or Jason Witten. Those are your choices. Cowboys Nation, those are your three choices. Mike McCarthy, Kellen Moore, or Jason Witten. Honest to God, those are your three choices. Because Jerry's going to want to go back to Kellen Moore. And he would love more than anything to hire Jason Witten because he sees it as the Lions hired Dan Campbell. We got a guy who won the Texas High School State Championship in Jason Witten. Dysfunctional. Dysfunctional. And it's all his fault. We say this every week. It's all Jerry's fault. It still is. We're in this position because of him. But comment down below how you feel. And I just hope it's worth it. I talked about that. I just hope it's worth it. I want at least Ashton Genty from Boise State, or I want Travis Hunter from Colorado. Those are the two guys on my list. I mean, if we're going to do this right, we got to do this right. We got to take. Give me those two guys. But other than that, like and subscribe. I'll see you guys later. Go Cowboys.